Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Wednesday, March 20th, and we are on the Americas account. To start off with, as usual, let's re-roll this. Let's see, so we have Paladin, even cards, and Priest and Warlock that we need to win with. So maybe we could find something to play on this tavern brawl that makes sense. Bag of beans, pick any 4 cards, your opponent will ban one of them, and then we'll make the deck full of the cards remaining. Ooh, this one's a bit of a challenge. Like, for the first time ever, let's go back and what was I gonna play as? Like, almost for the first time ever. Yeah, I would say this is the first time ever since they introduced Tavern Brawls. Like, I have not seen any, like, any idea of a card that would work here. What am I trying to say? I haven't seen anything that interested me in Tavern Brawls up until this point. So, I want to come in here. There is a quest card. I don't believe I have it. To play duplicate copies of your cards. Let's see. Duplicate. You know, it's probably easier just to say quest and search that. Okay. So, summon 5 minions with 5 more attack. That's not it. Play 7 1-cost minions. Queen chemistry. See, if I do this, 6 spells, I don't have that one. 6 spells, I don't have that one. 7 death rattle. 5 minions with the same name. So if I had this card, I would play that, but I don't, so I can't. What do I want to do here? Magnetic, I suppose. Yeah, I think that's probably our best bet, because magnetic will work on anything, and I think I can play Paladin with magnetic. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. Okay. Let's see. Magnetic. Just type in mag. And a 1/3. You know, I could do the gnome that does 2 damage whenever it dies. With 2, but let's see. We have a 1 here. 1/3 magnetic. We have deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. A 0/2 magnetic. Or mech. Deal 2 damage when this one dies. See, I could do just a bunch of those and that would be fine. We have deal 2 damage this way. Do we not have something else as a 4th magnetic card that would make sense? There. So there's our 4 choices. Let's see how well that works. So, as far as news today, we don't have a ton of games on Steam. Partially because of Google Stadia sucking all of the oxygen out of the room. I think that's a big part of that. Maybe there were more games that came on Steam and my What's on Steam Twitter feed simply did not catch them. Interesting. So how do we want to do this? Not start with this, not start with this, not start with this. So now he's deciding to ban a card. Don't I get to decide to ban a card too? Wouldn't that be the only way to do this fair? Alright, so he did ban a card. Let's see, choose your opponent's hidden 4th card. Oh, so it's a mystery card. Golem. Whenever you overload, gain 1 attack per locked crystal. Overload. Or Golem and Overload. So this seems like this is Overload and Golem, so the one to ban is probably that. Alright, so then we play this, and this, and this, and do that. So yeah, there might be some games that I missed that came out on Steam today just because of Google Stadia. Now, as far as Google Stadia, I think I can probably talk about it pretty easily and abruptly here by just saying that it's, for the most part, hype right now. Until it's just a matter of I'll see it when I see it, when it really exists, and if it's not, until it's actually out and we can see how well it works on people in the United States and around the world with slow internet, we don't know how useful or good it's going to be. In a weird way, I kind of fast forward through Giant Bomb talking over the announcement of Google Stadia, and Giant Bomb made a good point that at the beginning that, well, I guess that's that for that. With these new decks, I don't even really want to come back and play this again. I'll just take that victory and let's just move to rank play. That's better. And since it's Wednesday, we'll try to get all 3 of the daily quests done, so we only have 2 daily quests done to do. So Jumbo makes a good point. Like, if you went for Google Stadia, you're never gonna own that game. You're probably never gonna be able to mod the game. There's not gonna be any real piracy, and there is this danger in a couple different ways that, you know, Google might get bored with Google Stadia and the streaming gaming service that it is. I guess I should slightly explain what it is. If you haven't heard about it, you must have been living under a rock, basically. But it's the promise, and I can only really emphasize promise, that you would be able to stream basically any game, any AAA highly demanding game, for a through anything as low as a cell phone or the Google Chromecast up to, I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually make some apps that let you stream through a console, and you can stream through Chrome and just play games without really needing any kind of hardware whatsoever, because it's just really streaming video to a video source, which can be done if you have enough internet. Even the controller that they came out for Google Stadia, it connects directly to the Wi-Fi and then back to Google's server, instead of connecting to like a Chromecast and then connecting to the Google servers, which should take out some latency, but it also takes out any opportunity for sync unless they've figured out some way to synchronize that. Anyways, it's possible the input you put on the controller might be a few milliseconds ahead of the images you're actually seeing. I guess we're just gonna stick with Paladin. I hope Paladin was one that was winning, since we're at rank 14. If I could get up even higher, that would be great. So you're putting a lot of faith into Google, who has abandoned lots of things. I mean, they're killing off Google Plus as we speak. They're planning on integrating YouTube in a couple different ways to Stadia. One way is if you see somebody streaming, you should be able to click a button to play that game in less than 5 seconds, is what they say. I assume this means they did not talk about how you're purchasing or renting any of these games, though. So I bet it really isn't 5 seconds unless it is a streaming service that you then have to already be a part of before you can play it, or you can launch it in 5 seconds if you've already allowed Google to automatically purchase these games through some credit card setup. So that hurts YouTubers probably in the long run, video game YouTubers, and I think a lot of video game YouTubers probably haven't realized this. Like, if people are clicking on the button to go play the game themselves, they're not watching your videos. So unless, as a YouTuber, I'm getting some kind of reference and kickback and some kind of money from that, I'm losing watch time. The more watch time, if I lose watch time, that means the value of my ad revenue goes down. So this is potentially not a good thing for YouTube streamers. But to get back to what I was rambling about Giant Bomb, it's really bad for Giant Bomb and the mainstream video game media that is trying to compete for the audience in that case. So yeah, any mainstream video games reviewer is going to be hurt by basically everything that happens in the video game industry that pushes people away from looking at their articles and their ads and pushes people to watching YouTube or playing games more. In a weird way, mainstream video game reviewers are even hurt by the fact that people actually play video games. Might explain why they hate gamers so much, is because it's literally the competition against their views. But yeah, they were certainly wearing their heart on their sleeve and their own selfish intentions in that Giant Bomb stream, and they just kept repeating it. It's like, this is scary, this is spooky, this is cool, but it's also scary. Is what they were doing a lot of what I would call yellow journalism to push the idea of fear into the minds and associate it with Google Stadia, when it could have been said once succinctly, and then they could have been silent and just learned through the press conference through the rest of it. The other way Google and YouTube are gonna, Google Stadia and YouTube will be integrated, is there will be a Google Assistance button that is supposedly, if you're stuck at a specific point in the game, you'll be able to press that button and it will load up a YouTube video showing where the how to beat that specific part of the level. So just jumping directly to a long play of the game, which is probably particularly good for me, considering on my channel it is all just long plays, but it probably wouldn't ever, even if Google Stadia becomes the de facto main way that people play video games, I probably still would never get any reviews for it because there's just so much competition there that's just unlikely to happen. Let's see. I'm gonna just do this.
For justice. Go. Reporting for duty.
So, yeah. So, like, maybe on some rare games I would get recommended, or maybe they're gonna randomize it a little bit, but you know they won't randomize it. You know that they're gonna go for the most popular viewed video that they think matches the request, which might certainly cut out a lot of YouTube video game streamers that have edited themselves down and skipped over sections. It'll certainly cut out people who mostly make just cutscene compilations or reviews of games. Like, those shouldn't show up at all. And then there's just a lot of nebulous stuff about Stadia, frankly. It's just nebulous. They gave some indications of what their server equipment is going to be capable of doing, but also that it's going to potentially dynamically scale. So if your game happens to be particularly demanding graphically, then it will just spin up some more servers. So
the battle for justice.
Like, there's a
reporting for duty.
Wait, what do we want to do here? 6 and play this.
Repent. The battle.
There we go. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, it's just all hype right now. Maybe some beginnings of partnerships, but probably not exclusive partnerships. Yes, Google has hired some people. I'm not sure, but it kind of feels like they brought out one of the new employees that was just named as the vice president of Google. Used to work for video game companies. It kind of feels like they brought her out and then gave her a different title. So I'm not sure if that's the same person or if there are two people, and I'm gonna have to check the name, because that would be weird to say she's been hired on as the vice president of Google, and then she's also and oh no, she's not really the vice president of Google. She's actually in charge of this other thing.
I will silence their screams.
I guess we're just trying to get rid of as much people as possible. Let's just hold on to one thing. And then also like, Giant Bomb was upset that Matt Pat came out on stage and basically said the exact same thing that the CEO of Google had said. He just said it like a YouTuber would say it, with a high energy game theory style voice, which honestly I thought that was probably a great idea, because then you have an instance here where let's just play this. where you hear the same message delivered in a different way, that allows you a lot of different avenues for people to hear what you want to say, even if they didn't want to listen to the CEO of Google, who says it in a cold, calm, business-like fashion, or you can then listen to MatPat, put his inflection on it. Like, it's kind of funny that we haven't yet seen politicians do that, but I guess that's what talking heads on news always say anyways, is that they're you'll have some politicians say something, and then you'll have 20 other talking heads on 20 other news stations repeat the exact words, but say it in a different way, in a different inflection. Alright, let's keep playing. But, yeah, it's all hype right now, so like, people in Australia with terribly slow internet speed are not going to be able to play this unless Google's backbone internet works. If net neutrality is not respected and maintained as much as possible, then Stadia doesn't work at all. A lot of people in the United States outside of the big cities don't have good internet. If it can't work on the latency of some satellite internet service providers, that eliminates a lot of people. 5G cell phone service is allegedly coming. Does that mean for a second that you could really stream that much data on it? Not at least in the United States, because there's no such thing as really unlimited in the US. It's all unlimited until you use a certain amount, and then it's bottlenecked and slowed down. And that amount is going to be really, really low when in the grander scale of playing video games and streaming video.
Reporting for duty.
So yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of questions, and maybe they can answer all those questions. For the Stadia controller, it's kind of like a PlayStation controller. It's got a couple extra buttons, but nothing really fascinating. It's got the layout of a Xbox One button configuration, where A is on the left, B is on the right, X is on the left, top left, and Y is on the top right, in a D-shaped pattern. The only difference is both analog sticks are at the bottom and the D-pad is at the top, which honestly that is where it should be, but a lot of people are just used to it being the other way, that I could see that being a slight issue. Do I want to throw out another guy? I guess we should. This is probably a good time to do that. And the idea of a Wi-Fi controller is interesting, but it then means that the Wi-Fi controller isn't really going to work on a PC for other uses, which is fine. A lot of what makes a controller good or bad is just going to be weight and feel and all of those elements, just to see how that really breaks down.
To battle.
And before we do anything else, let's see if this is explosive trap. Yes, it is. Alright, well then we will do this,
Reporting for duty.
and this.
Speak your peace.
Job's done.
And in the turn. It seems like Stadia will work in a lot of other scenarios if you plug in a USB controller. So if you plug in an Xbox One controller on your PC, there's really no reason why that shouldn't work. So
Reporting
yeah,
for duty.
we'll keep that in mind too.
To battle.
If you plugged in a USB controller or receiver into a cell phone, it should still work. Now if you're streaming to a Chromecast, I imagine you would have to use the Stadia controller. Or if you're streaming to a console, maybe it would be smarter or mandatory to use the console's controller at that point. But I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't mandatory. Alright.
To battle.
Again.
To battle.
Interesting, alright. So let's hit this. And
To
get rid
battle.
of this one. And go ahead and play this.
To battle.
And then get rid of this one.
To
And
battle.
then smack these two in the face. That way the only thing this can kill is that, which is not a big deal. Alright. So WebPeak should be working. I didn't even talk about what I've been doing in the past couple days. I finished QUBE Director's Cut. It's slightly disappointing in the fact that the Director's Cut implies there will be this opportunity for a secondary
Reporting for duty.
option at the end when there really isn't.
Job's done.
Yeah, it feels like you should be given an easy choice of either going left or right, or walking forward or not walking forward, and you can't do anything throughout the entire game. You're given this idea and this thought that you're going to either trust or doubt one voice, or trust or doubt the other voice, telling you to trust and trust or doubt the other voice. Well, both voices are telling you to doubt the other voice, so it's a pretty obvious mist-like it felt like it should be a mist-like ending where it's like, oh, don't collect the red pages, don't collect the blue pages, and I thought there was a good chance that it would be you actually weren't supposed to listen to either voice, or both voices were just screwing with you the whole time. So now we're at Priest or Warlock, and we've made it one more up. So do I think Priest will win or Warlock will win? Let's try Warlock. I guess we have two chances before we fall down, but this is also a win streak that we're still on, so I'm potentially breaking a win streak here.
Gul'dan versus Jaina.
All of a sudden, it feels like on my main account I'm actually a good Hearthstone player. Like, this is not typical results at all. This feels really crazy and insane to me that I've got a 7-to-1 win ratio. Like, it almost feels like a regular single player game at this point, where you're just winning all the time. And I'm not gonna say I'm bad at video games in general, but I'm for this game in particular, where they specifically have been trying to get players to have a 50% win ratio at best, I've barely struggled to get that high, because I guess I've just been playing with bad decks. Let's see.
In the light's name.
Should have played this first. But whatever.
Why do you fall?
So this is nice. Alright, so we have a game on Steam called The Fog Trap for Moss. This is a hidden object game. So I'm not really interested in hidden object games. They want $5.59, and I do have to applaud anytime somebody puts out a hidden object game and it's less than $7 because like there is a very high premium that people keep it charging for these games. I don't know if they just sell at that price and they figured out that there's a smaller audience, so that makes sense, or if there's some other level to it. Well, that kind of sucks, but whatever, we'll do this. Like, I could have saved this and used this a lot later, but yeah, I really shouldn't have played that then. Tech Raptor has an article. Of course, that hidden object game's not making it to the fall list. Fate Extella Link review faded once more. Let's see what review they have for this Fate game is, because I really don't know myself. Alright, this will work, and then we'll, you know, I should have drawn a card first. If I knew I was only going to be able to do this and draw a card, I should have drawn the card first in case I got another copy of this. Then I could have played this and buffed up both of them. But whatever. The Fate Extella review that Tech Raptor gave it is 7.0. Very good. While more playable and mechanically sound than the original Fate Extella, Link fails to tell an engaging or memorable story, thus falling short of the standards set off by other spin-offs. I wouldn't be surprised if that's probably right on the nose for the Fate series in general. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the Fate animes and light novels and such are either telling the exact same story over and over again or telling kind of mediocre stories. Right.
Unleash me.
I'll get right on it.
The pros for Fate Extella and Link are much improved battle flow, great character roster, active skills bringing change, top-notch presentation. The cons are limited uses of the new characters, a less interesting story, and lacking narrative focus. And as far as what Fate Extella Link is, I'm assuming, kind of based on this one screenshot alone, that it is a 3D JRPG, but it's a little confusing because like this looks like that's in the same game, but then this looks completely out of place. Yeah, so I don't know if maybe there's something weird going on or what. Let's see. If I play this, I'm gonna draw, so let's draw first, and then I'm gonna play this, and then the turn. Let's see. Next, Gemetsu has an article. Idea Factory Triangle Project. Otome visual novels coming to the Switch this summer in Japan. It seems to me like it is 3 visual novels maybe bundled together, because that does not seem like these are all one game. It says Triosity Eyes, Katakoi Contrast, and Jaku no Lila make up Idea's trio of Triangle Project. So it sounds like pretty obvious that they are in the works of releasing visual novels. We'll have to see if they come to the West or not. They probably will. Seems like a lot of things are coming to the West on the Switch, and it's nice. It's nice to see more worldwide releases, but there is an amount of work you have to do around that. Alright. I'm about to die. So I need this. Let's play Leroy to save myself. And at a point here, I would have won, but
Do not fear power. Fear those who
but
wield
this one's just played. I've been outplayed, or I messed up. I probably messed up in too many places. Alright, we can do this, which means we can play this for free, which means we can do this, and let's see, 6 damage, or I deal 2 damage to myself and I lose. So if I hint in the turn here, there's a bit of a chance, but not much. Yeah, I would need a turn 10 succession plan here. Let's see. I guess I can do this. And I guess I can do this. 6, 7, 8. There's enough for him to win if he just attacks my face immediately.
Sweet essence.
Next we have a game on Steam called Riot Street. This looks like a first-person shooter, and I can't really immediately ignore it because of that. This mini-map looks a little off. But the rest of this looks like it might just be a Counter-Strike Go clone, or maybe made in the same engine. See, there's some weirdness, I guess, in that in general, is that you could make a Counter-Strike clone and be fine with it. Early access multiplayer only, $9.99. Because it's multiplayer only, I don't have to really worry about it though, so I'll leave it at that. And just say, if that looks interesting to you, cool, but for me, since it's multiplayer, I don't play multiplayer games. GameIndustry.biz has an article, Unity partners with Tencent for China cloud gaming services. Also at the GDC keynote, Unity acquires Graphene, doubles downs on the developer first mission. We're not here to make games. So yeah, that's good to know, because that is like a direct attack against Epic, and saying, hey, like, we're not gonna make a Fortnite and just steal your ideas. But it isn't. I thought Fortnite was actually made in Unity, but maybe not. Like, there's a little confusion there about, I guess Unity is not owned by Epic. I should know these things, and I don't. And that's a problem. Oh no, Epic owns Unreal. So it says in the article, if I just read the first sentence, kicked off the event by making it clear that the engine developer has no intention of following in its direct competitors, Unreal's, footsteps. Yeah, I'm sure in the background that irritates quite a lot of people who made games in Unreal, to have to have potential sales hurt by the fact that so many people are playing Fortnite right now, or the fact that Fortnite just really stole PUBG's concept, Battle Royales, the way it did Battle Royale. Well, I don't know if there's a real reason to have this on the field at all. He's kind of just wasting his time. I could bring back that guy. I'm gonna hold on to the silence. And I'm gonna just banana up this guy and go this way. And yeah, I'm just gonna end the turn here. So, this is kind of an article that doesn't really mean too much. Unity partnering with Tencent just puts them in the same basket as every other video game company that's partnering with Tencent to accomplish anything in China. Like, the Chinese government mandates that you partner with a Chinese company so that they can steal your corporate secrets. So I don't, like, it's not fair, it's not honest business in any way, but that's what happens, and there's kind of nothing you can do about it. Alright, I wanted to silence this guy first. I screwed that up. I played wrong. I should have... yeah, I totally screwed that up. I could have done that a lot better. I wish I could just redo that hand. Moving on, Kimetsu has an article. Daedalus, The Awakening of Golden Jazz is coming to Asia in English on May 23rd. Here's what it looks like. Switching PS4 images. I think there may have been an article after this that gives a release date for worldwide, because it is coming out on PC too. It's a visual novel game, although I imagine it has some heavy emphasis on music too. You wouldn't really call it by that name for no reason, or at least I would hope you wouldn't call it by a name like that for no reason. Choose a minion, add a copy of it to your hand. Yeah, I would probably want a bigger card to make a copy of than just the archive of, what is this? Acolyte of Pain. Gematsu has an article. Disgaea RPG is now available for Japan. It's a smartphone game. This had been announced, so it's just kind of now available. We can show off the image of the Disgaea characters. Like, we do have a decent amount of news, I guess. We just don't have a lot of
insects.
Let's see.
Do you like to play with fire?
End the turn there. Gematsu has another article. Oddworld Soulstorm GDC 2019 in-game cinematic video. GDC, I guess in general, is the thing that is sucking out all the oxygen of the room for any other video game news, because it was at GDC that the Google Stadia happened. It's at GDC that everything else is getting announced. Half of it is talking about actual games, and half of it is talking about slightly less directly related things. Let's see. Let's see how this worked. Yeah, I've lost. So, here's Oddworld Soulstorm. I tried to play all of the Oddworld games, and frankly, not a single one of them stands up to the test of time. So there's this teaser I'll watch, but seems like there's several videos they put out, but a lot of these are just comparisons and things at GDC that are more technical presentations than anything else. Okay. See, now we're in trouble. Either I have to believe that I can win with a Warlock in the next game, or I come back and play as Paladin just to bring myself back up. We've already lost the win streak. So I think I have to come back and play as Paladin. And trying to maintain a ranked play is going to be a nightmare. Daily quests are going to have to be done in casual mode, basically, and I need to probably only play ranked when I'm playing as Paladin, which is probably in the top 3 meta decks to play right now. It would be my guess. Yeah. So I'm gonna watch this train teaser, is what it's called. Yeah, the first Oddworld controls awkwardly and doesn't really play. The second Oddworld controls awkwardly and doesn't really play well. The third Oddworld, I think, might play pretty well, but still controls awkwardly. And see, by the time you're at the third game in the series, and if the first 2 or 3 of them are not really playable, it's really hard to get into that series. There needs to be a entire reboot of the series, and I don't think that they're really going to do that, or do it right. I will say this teaser is a 3D cinematic teaser, and is not really showing me any gameplay, so I have no idea what the gameplay really is going to be.
The light dims, but we fight. The light protects me. Repent!
I see 2 of the Oddworld creatures on a train throwing a bunch of liquid vials into the train to make it go faster because they're under attack. And then, yeah, the next video is just breaking down the cinematic from the previous video. And then the third video is showing a character that wasn't even in the cinematic, and it's just a 3D model of a character spinning in circles being shown off. So I would need a lot more than just a teaser trailer or a teaser video. It's not even really a trailer. I guess it depends on what a trailer means in your mind, but I would need more content than that to even have the beginnings of an idea of what this new Oddworld game is going to be. So that's kind of a hype article. I think we're going to run into a lot of hype articles today, unfortunately, that I failed to filter out. Gamma Citra has an article: Unity partners with Havok to roll out new physics system. The team at Unity have partnered with Microsoft-owned Havok. I think Microsoft acquired Havok either this year or last year to update the game engine with 2 new physics systems, 1 new default option, and an additional high-end option backed by Havok's proprietary physics engine. After finishing QUBE, I definitely was a little frustrated with the physics engines that were being used in QUV. Also, I'm now playing Magnetic Cage Closed, which has a real-world physics system too. Both of those would have really worked better if they had more of the Portal cheating physics engine, where there were very specific points where they designed it to snap onto a rail and always work and always go in the right place. Very often you would run into a cube that just did not want to line up against the wall, but you needed it to line up against the wall for it to work. Alright.
Reporting for duty.
Are we ready for this, or do we want to wait? I'm gonna wait. So, I would say Unity probably has never had a great physics system, since it kind of is more in line with a cell phone style game, and there's a level of physics there that doesn't really need to be emulated, because the processor on a cell phone would just not be able to copy that anyways. So this is probably a very good thing for them. It also very possibly might mean that we end up with a lot more physics-based, low-asset, low-effort games on Steam, trying to figure out the new physics system, but that was always going to happen, so it's not really something to be worried about. Most of the times you do want high-end physics as much as possible, unless you're talking a 3D puzzle game where you need a square cube to fall down the square hole. Then you kind of want it on tracks, on invisible rails. Let's see.
Incredible.
Let's go ahead and kill this. Here. This article continues. The physics revamp is part of an ongoing effort to transition Unity's game engine to a data-oriented technology stack, which, to vastly oversimplify, aims to make the engine more efficient by cutting down how often it has to pull data from the memory. Which, okay. An improvement in Unity would be good. Unity is not bad by any means, but it also has that stink of, oh, if you want to make a good hyper-realistic AAA game, particularly if it's a first-person shooter where there's a lot of jumping and running around very jagged, broken levels, you would do that in Unreal instead. You really wouldn't do that in Unity. Unity is more known for cutesy, simplistic 2Ds, 2.5D games, platforming games like that. But I think you probably, if you put your mind to it, you could make a hyper-realistic 3D first-person shooter in Unity. It might just not be worth the effort.
Put your faith in the light.
If I fail here, I suppose it doesn't matter at that point, so I'll just go back to actually trying to win with the Warlock. Maybe I was just getting lucky. Maybe now the luck has run out. Gamatsu has a System Shock 3 GDC teaser trailer. Here we can web peek this. Gives Shodan the evil computer AI of System Shock 3, as I understand it. And there's a teaser out there that I'll watch, but I don't want to get content ID'd, so I won't show it on the screen. So the weirdness here is System Shock 3 probably is in good position to be a good game, but it's in a weird position to be sold because they're having bits of trouble here and there I recall doing the System Shock remake. By the way, System Shock 3 is made in Unity, and it does look like it is going to be a first-person shooter, AAA, hyper-realistic first-person shooter. So,
Your soul shall be mine.
so knowing that, I'm in a very weird position. I own System Shock 1 and 2, I'm pretty sure, but they are the original versions of the game. And I don't know if I really want to play the original versions. I would much prefer to play the remasters because it's so old. I'm not even sure I really want to play the game at all, but it is so relevant. It has such a big niche following that it would be very difficult to say, no, I'm not going to play any of the System Shock games, particularly when System Shock 3 actually comes out. But that is also, as a YouTuber, a weird choice, because if I just day one have pre-ordered and bought System Shock 3 and try and live stream it as fast as possible, I'll get views, sure, but it won't be that much, because every other bigger YouTuber out there will also be doing that. That's at least the attitude I've believed in for my channel. That's why my channel has so many older games and weirder games on it. I'd rather buy an older game cheaper and cover it out of just because I've never played the game than hope that I can win. And there have been times, like I played the Talos Principle when it came out, basically day one. I paid and played for The Witcher 3, and that was also a thing, certainly, that didn't get as many views as I would have liked. So I was putting out Witcher 3 videos as fast as I could humanly possibly do it, and I still was not really getting any views, just because there are too many other people also playing The Witcher 3. Let's see. What do I want to do? If I do this, they're gonna just kill this. And that's probably not what I want to have happen. But it'll buy me some more time, I suppose.
Reporting for duty.
So yeah. Unfortunately, there kind of is just no way to get ahead on YouTube. There really just isn't.
As you command.
Yeah, it's just end the turn. So next turn I could play this. If I get another one of these, I could play this. I could damage these two. Or I can do this. Let's try it. Heal, heal, taunt. So I have to do this. And then heal. And then heal. And then coin and taunt. And then end the turn. Yeah. It's just end the turn now. Next, Gematsu has an article, Adventure RPG March and Forest Mian, and the Forest Girl is coming to the PS4 and Switch. Take on the role of a young girl employed by a magical apothecary shop. So, yep, it was first launched on PC on May 28th. So this is a example of a game that if I purchased and covered it now, that would be cool, because then that would there'd be a new audience to potentially play it. I'll want to look at this playthrough vision though, see what it looks like. Okay, so all I can do is this, and everything else is not going to really heal, so let's do this, I guess. And get this, and should I kill this guy or just leave him? Just leave him. Interesting. I'm trying to figure out all of this. Oh, yeah, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. Yep.
That was a mistake.
Arena's full. Beat it.
That was totally a mistake.
How long can this go on? How long can this go on?
Let's see. This trailer for this game, Martian Forest, is not very good. It looks like it's just a dungeon crawler, maybe JRPG game, but it's got a bunch of text over everything, so it's kind of hard to even see what it is, and it's probably a pretty simplistic dungeon crawler, which might be what I would prefer to have in my life, honestly. Okay. This one, we need a taunt. Let's do this. And then we can do this for free. We can kill that. And then that'll save us for one more turn. Let's see, Gambit Sutra has an article, the former EA and THQ exec Danny Bilson to helm the USC Games program. Didn't we already talk about this? Yeah, we did. So I've running into some duplicate stories here. So yeah, that's... Alright, so we're falling further behind, and for the first time probably ever, I guess I need to protect my level. So I'm just gonna go to casual and play like Warlock and Priest and try and get a victory there. And then when I get that victory, if I still need to play the number of odds or even cards, which is the third daily quest, I'll deal with that later. This is more for Twitch streamers than anything else, but they have a new feature called Disconnect Protection, where you can play a video or show a picture or something instead, which sounds like it should just be something by default. It seems like it's a stupidly easy feature you could have enabled. Is just like, oh yeah, if you're disconnected and you can reconnect in 90 seconds, that's fine. YouTube has that. That being said, when I disconnected last stream, because of the way I have my software set up, it had to then translate and remux, not really re-encode, but just slightly change the formatting of the video that it records in by default into the format that I want it to be in. So it took a couple of minutes to convert the hour-and-a-half plus long video before I could relaunch the application, and so it took too long, and it made a second stream, which wasn't a problem at all, because that first stream had like 2 views and the second stream had like 9. So we're in the single digits either way, and that sucks, but also that's just kind of the way it goes on YouTube these days. So yeah, that might also be an indication that when people chat, your next live stream is recommended to people, not the current one, which is weird. Speaking of weird, I occasionally look at the trending videos, and one of the main trending videos on YouTube was like a 30-second teaser to a music video with this anime girl in it. Like, the music video, I think, is called "You Should See Me in a Crown" or something, and the teaser is very anime craziness. But then when I watch it, I'm going, what is this thing? Because you don't see a lot of that in music videos. Gorillaz is about the closest I could think of, and Gorillaz was, the last Gorillaz video was at least a few months ago, a year ago. And Gorillaz kind of has its own art style on top of that. So you see this 30-second video, and then that 30-second video then links you to Apple iTunes, and it's like, oh, you can only actually see this if you're on iTunes, and I don't have an iTunes account. I don't have any Apple accounts. So I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm never going to see that video. But that's not true, because then I just typed in the name of the song, and immediately somebody had ripped and uploaded the video. And it wasn't in great format or anything, but it was good enough, certainly. Let's silence that minion. There you go. Deal 1 damage to all other characters? Sure. And I wish this was a ranked play now, because I'm about to win. There's an article I got linked to because I followed the developer of this game, Zed, that's coming out. This is kind of a hype article, undoubtedly, but PCGamesIn.com, not a source I follow very often. It's not a source I follow at all. Has an article making it in Unreal, how VR changed the pace of Zed. Zed being the new game. +3/+3 in taunt.
Do you like to play with fire?
Let's see. Double health. And let's see. Bring you back. go. The subtitle on this article, developing this first-person adventure for VR meant learning new ways of telling stories. Which I assume means in VR you had to move a lot slower. But it's not like the Cyan's last game, Abduction, was a particularly fast-moving game, or any of the Myst games are particularly fast-moving games. Maybe they're trying to make an argument that they had to actually speed up their development. Let's see. Heal. Choose a character and make a copy.
Do you like to play with fire?
Let's see. All that for one hit in the face. There's a quote here: VR really does encourage you to look. It makes you want to go up to a wall and read what's written on that note. Let's see. Yeah, I think there is a potential danger if VR became... That's like really the only quote here. Like, if VR became expensively, like, mandatory, like, everybody had to make everything in VR, you would probably quickly find that a lot of the creators and the art assets, the artists in the games, are just gonna have to spend so much effort making a single room feel realistic. Like, when I look around the room I'm sitting in right now, there's so much art made by so many different people, just on boxes and DVDs and just logos on TVs, icons on keyboards. Every single piece of paper in this room probably has some art asset on it. There's probably at least 1 million different pieces of art in one room. That's not really feasible in video games, and video games have always been light on texture. I guess that's a good thing I didn't play that in ranked. Felt like I was close to winning there. Maybe this is just a matter of I need to get to the point where I understand these decks and know what I'm supposed to actually be doing. Because this really feels like a mid-game. I'm supposed to have this card in my hand and maybe a few other cards, and that's it. And I'm supposed to go mid-game, one-turn kill, ending. So yeah, we could, in an alternate universe, if VR had become super successful to the point where it was just demanded to be in every single game, regardless of what kind of game it is, we could have seen a lot of increase in production costs. Or games that are just escape rooms where there's one room where everything is designed in. And that's very much what I suspect Zed will be, is there will be a small collection of rooms and you'll be wandering around those rooms trying to find objects, basically a 3D version of a hidden object game. Moving on, we have a game on Steam here called Divinia, which looks weird. It seems like it has kind of a disconnected art style. You've got this character and then this character seem to pop up and talk to each other, but then the actual game seems to just be a pretty generic looking 2.5D platformer, and it doesn't look particularly good. I don't like that the interface is here. I think I'm gonna win on Hearthstone over here because the guy left. Yep. Okay. So that's the 50 gold done. So I need to play 13 more even cost cards. I'm gonna come back here. I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this in ranked. And I'm gonna hope for a win streak to get up to 13. But I mean, we've already passed my goal. Like, my goal was to get to 15. This game, NVIDIA is early access. Episode 1 demo. To buy it is $5.99 discount. It has a third-party EULA.
Let the games begin. I will fight with honor.
The game doesn't look very good, frankly. The characters look like they might have a little bit of love in them. But if you've got a couple of characters in your head and that you would like to put in a game, but you can't make a game, you're really not doing any favor for yourself or your characters. You'd be better off making a comic book. In this instance in particular, it feels very much like that. Like a comic book would have been the right move. On the other hand, these characters also look like they might just be kind of generic rip-offs of other characters I've already seen, so they may not be that unique anyways. I need to have both of these in my hand
Well met.
first. Next we have a game on Steam called Ping Pong Trick Shot Evolution. I suspect this is a low effort physics game, probably Chinese. Yeah, there's really nothing here that looks interesting. $4.99. And doesn't actually look like it supports Chinese as a language, as its primary languages anyway, so I guess maybe it's just a low effort Western physics game. Let's do this.
Reporting for duty.
What does this card do? Let's just double check. Whenever a secret is played, game +1/+1. Let's kill this quickly, yeah. Gearbox has teased out some more that they're continuing this time to tease another game out for PAX. This next one, I don't even have a clue. So,
reporting for duty.
I'm rather confused about it. Alright, well that sucks. Should I do this now? Or should I do this later? No, I should just hit the face. So yeah, Gearbox put out this picture. I don't know what this is at all. I don't recognize it. But what I think they're doing, they also put out this picture, and this is the picture. This is some kind of card game based on Borderlands that I don't know what that is either. Also, Gearbox Official just now got 1 million subscribers on Twitter, which is incredibly slow. Which means probably something there. There's probably something to take from that it took them so incredibly long to get to just 1 million subs.
To battle.
Speak your peace.
To battle. To battle.
There we go.
Job's done.
What I think Gearbox is doing is they are teasing games that they aren't going to announce at PAX. They're teasing games that will be playable at PAX. And they're doing a bait and switch trick here. Randy Pitchford being a magician, this sounds like he's thought of a cutesy magician way of doing this.
That's incredible.
to pretend like they're going to have a ridiculously large amount of cards or new games on a new platform. Like, it's totally possible that all of these games are coming to Google Stadia, and you could have done, now that we know what Google Stadia is, that still lines up fine. But it is also very possible that they are just going to bring all of these games in their current form to be playable at PAX, and that's all it ever really meant.
Reporting for duty. To battle.
Let's see. I think we're probably fine. Like, he can draw a couple cards all he wants, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I can't even think that it really is anything. I have such little faith in Randy Pitchford as the CEO of Gearbox, and thus Gearbox in general. I think they have overhyped something that is probably in no way what it seems like it's going to be. Next we have Gematsu. We have an article here. Sega ages Virtua Racing launches this spring in Japan, adds online and 8-player split-screen multiplayer. This feels like it's a slightly new version of Virtua Racing, but it sure doesn't look like a modern game by any sense. It's probably just the old Virtua Racing that came out in the arcades in 1992 and has just been re-released on every Sega console. There still is potential rumors out there that there might be a Sega console getting announced. Although, it's, now that we know what Google Stadia is, Sega coming out with a new console seems unlikely to be successful. And honestly, seems like it's probably not going to happen. Yep. Virtua Racing sure was cool as a concept back in the day when that would have been amazing technology, but now it just looks silly. Silly little polygon. It looks on the level of a extremely low effort Steam game. Moving on, we have a game on Steam called Dust on Wheels, which looks like it's a desert derby game. And I don't know if these are the kind of cars you would do desert racing on. It's pretty generic though. I mean, you have an asset of a desert, an asset of some dunes, and the assets of cars. It's $1.19. I wouldn't be upset if there was a mode in a bigger racing game like that. That's a cool idea, but as a standalone product, it's just not offering enough to be interesting. Next, we have a game on Steam called Jelliphant Escape, which looks like a hideous looking platformer game. Super Meat Boy clone would be my guess. I mean, this just looks awful. Terrible graphics for $1.79 discounted. I have no interest in that. Right.
Let me think.
This.
Reporting for duty.
And then this. And then in the turn. This next story kind of affects me personally a little bit. Gematsu has an article, Castle Crashers Remastered coming to the PS4 and Switch this summer. I relatively recently just purchased Castle Crashers and was going to show it off. Now the question is, will this remastered version be a free upgrade on PC? Or will it not come to PC? Or what is... or maybe it's already on PC and that's fine. Castle Crashers, I believe, originally came out on... Let's see.
Let me think.
On Xbox 360 Arcade as one of the summer things.
I must move quickly.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure that there's a remastered version here.
Handle it! The battle! The battle! The battle! The battle!
Taking too long here. I have to remember I'm trying to win. So, yeah. Let's see. It came to PC and Mac September 2002, and Xbox One as Castle Crashers Remastered in 2015. So it's been 4 years. If there was going to be a remaster on PC, it doesn't seem like that's likely to happen anytime soon. Let's do this. So yeah, that puts me in a weird position. More than likely that just means I'm going to wait until at least the summer to play Castle Crashers. It doesn't really encourage me in any way to play it and line up my coverage of it with the re-release of it on Switch. Although that might have been a good move. Might be a good move.
Job's done.
Let's see. We don't really need to cover anything about Google Stadia, so any articles I run to that. Like theoretically, it could be up to 4K HDR at 60 frames per second. Is the promises they're making. And there's some internal things certainly that devs would be interested in. They partnered with 2K, id Games, Q Games, Square Enix, Tequila Works, and Ubisoft, which, okay, that doesn't really mean anything. All of them would totally work with Google just in case this becomes a huge success. Like the difference between Google Stadia and Facebook Games as a platform is that Google's reputation is not anywhere as bad as Facebook is. So when Facebook Games first rolled out, you didn't really get any big AAA developers showing any real interest in putting games on that platform. You just got a bunch of mobile and like Farmville developers showing interest in that. Let's see.
Reporting for duty. Mushroom power!
Let's
For justice!
in the turn. Crowd play and state sharing is also another thing Stadia promised. Yeah, I bet I just have a ton of articles here that are the same thing over and over again. Doom Eternal is coming to Stadia, but it's certainly not an exclusive. That would be a problem. People would be really, really pissed if Google Eternal could only be played on Stadia.
Mushroom power! The battle!
We gotta kill this guy. TechRaptor has an article, Apex Legend cheaters are being permanently hardware banned. So Apex Legends has something in its software that is identifying your specific hardware and banning it based on that. Windows itself allegedly has something like that so that you can't activate the same license on multiple PCs over and over again. I don't think it works particularly well. It's also a potential problem because if you're hardware banned and you have enough hardware, you could just probably switch a couple of components out and get hardware unbanned pretty quickly.
For justice.
Hit that for one.
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty.
That. And I've lost.
To battle. To battle.
Speak your peace.
Job's done.
So maybe I can only make it up to rank 14. Maybe that's where my level is. But if my level really is rank 14, that's not a problem. Like that feels a lot better than being at rank 20 5 years into playing Hearthstone. Did I play the 13 cards I needed to play? No, I didn't. I think the problem here is what I'm doing is I think I'm playing something that just has a bunch of odd cards. I'm playing an odd only deck. Let's see. Paladin. Yeah, it's all odd cards. No wonder I'm not doing anything. We need even cards. There's a bunch of even cards under Warrior, but it's not an even deck. There's a bunch of even cards under Shaman, but it's not an even deck. They might as well have named these. It would have been helpful. So I'm just gonna change this name to Odd Paladin. Since we've identified what this deck is now. No. No, none of the others are here. Did I type the right word? Yeah, odds. Only odds. We're looking for evens. Alright, so I can play anything else, but it's not gonna work. It's not gonna be an even deck. So let's just try Hunter. I don't think I've played any Hunter at all. And once we get these daily quests done, I'll wrap up this recording, I think. We have this game. We already kind of talked about it. Fate Extella Link. It was reviewed by TechRaptor. It's rated very positively here. TechRaptor gave it a 7.0 mediocre review, but apparently fans of the Fate series find that this series is perfectly fine and up to their levels. From Marvelous Entertainment. I thought it might be a Bandai game and Bandai Namco game. This looks like a hack and slash Warriors game. It says it's multiplayer, but it has a single player element. Let's see. And how much is all this DLC? $36 of probably costume useless DLC. But maybe if you spend $60 and get the digital deluxe edition, maybe you get all this costume stuff. Or not. Maybe you don't. So you might want to be careful there. Yeah, this looks like a hack and slash Warriors games by the numbers. Where's my mouse cursor? Let's switch those. Yeah, I'll put this on the follow list. It's questionable in a little bit whether I want to play the Fate series or any of the Fate games. It kind of is questionable whether any of the Fate series will be that interesting to play by the time I get around to playing them, because as an anime series it may have fallen out of being in favor, but it has a good chance it wouldn't have. I mean, the Fate anime manga series have been going on for a while now. Let's see. I'm just gonna play this. Gamatsu has an article. The King of Fighters All-Star is coming to the West in 2019. I believe this is... No, I guess this isn't one of the 3 Anniversary Collection games that are also coming out. We'll talk about that, I guess, in a moment. Let's see if we do this. And then we do this. I can rush these guys. I'm probably doing the absolute wrong thing to do. Like, almost certainly I should have played tracking there and gone for the... Well, I don't even see him. Scavenging Hyena? Yeah, I should have had the Scavenging Hyena on the field before I did any of that, because I could have really buffed up a Scavenging Hyena on that. Here's the screenshot of King of Fighters. I don't know in what position I would put King of Fighters as far as fighting games, because it's kind of maintained its 2D aspect more than any of the other fighting games, like Street Fighter. But I suspect I should probably put it somewhere in the level of let's see, like somewhere below Street Fighter, possibly below like some of the other fighting games. Should I put like King of Fighters above Blaze Blue? Probably. Yeah, I think I'd probably put it below all the 3D fighting games and above Blaze Blue, because it has more relevancy and more of a history than any of the other games. Yeah, so I screwed myself up so badly. I can't really do anything.
I hunt alone.
So I'm just gonna do that. Because if I had played this, he would have been able to kill this. So I need this, then this, then this, so I can kill this, so I can power that up, and I'll kill that. So now this should be protected, but probably isn't when the guy has 8 cards on the field. GameIndustry.biz has an article. Doodle Jump Space Chase dev closure was the third wave of layoffs since November. Fifth Planet Games repeatedly slashed headcount at its Nottingham studio before shutting it down outright. So, yeah. That's kind of not even surprising. The idea that Doodle Jump would be a highly successful game publisher is kind of ridiculous. Although Doodle Jump, I suppose, was more noticeable and notable than a lot of other mobile game devs who really have nothing to say. If I win this game, it's more by stupid luck than skill. I've played this terribly, but I've learned from it. So, and a lot of times, learning from your mistakes is the only way you can learn.
To my side.
TechRaptor has an article. Guinness certifies Texas man has the world's largest video game collection. Let's see. In total, this guy owns 20,193 video games. That's a total number. That's a little under 1/5 of the total number of games that are currently on Steam. But none of the games he owns that were counted are actually Steam games. They are physical games. And 1/5 of the total number of games on Steam kind of doesn't mean anything, because that Steam lets all kinds of garbage. There's unfortunately no real pictures here on this video, on this article, so yeah, there's nothing really nice to see here. I would like to see his collection. I think I've seen bits of his collection, but I don't think he's really gone and done a nice video walkthrough, which he probably should for insurance reasons alone. But he also needs way more of amounts of insurance, because most average homeowners insurance only would cover up to like $10,000 or $20,000 worth of the replacement value of the games or any property, and that's on top of the replacement value of the house. So if you have more than $10,000 or $20,000 worth of stuff in your house, which I think a lot of people would when you just start adding up all the furniture and all the electronics and other things. So yeah, there's he probably needs some extra insurance. Also, if something terrible was to happen to his collection, I imagine there's no way to really replace it. So it's actually quite priceless on some games. I'm just playing cards. Moving on, TechRaptor has an article. The Sega survey asked fans on feedback for Sonic, Yakuza, and more. It's pretty typical in Japanese game developers to send out a survey, at least in Japan, asking about how you feel about one more game should do it. How you feel about their brands and whether you want to see sequels or not. It doesn't really probably change too much, because what is said in this year's survey could probably only be enacted 4 years plus down the line. And a lot of surveys are not honest questions. They are often, we want this result, so put out a survey that manipulates the result this way. Throw out all the people who answer in a different way. And if surveys really worked, we would definitely see less terrible games like Fallout 76 come out. We'd definitely see less fan backlash and boycotts happening. Like, honestly, if Bethesda had surveyed people and said, hey, do you want to play this Fallout 76 game that we have that has no NPCs and nothing feels nothing like any of the previous Fallout games, I think you get a pretty resounding no. It's pretty obvious Bethesda fans want the next Elder Scrolls game. We want a Skyrim sequel, and every year, well, I don't even know if I should include me in there. I don't know if I care at this point. But Bethesda fans, if there are any left, want the next Skyrim game. It's pretty obvious that's what they want. Let's see what this does. Okay. So, and every year that they don't come out with the next Elder Scrolls game and focus instead on Elder Scrolls Online is another year that the next Skyrim game has to be that much better, and it's just putting it deeper and deeper into development hell because it has to look very, very good for whatever year it comes out, which means the longer you continue to develop it, the more you have to redo the graphics over and over again. Let's see. Next we have a game on Steam called Super Chrome Bullet Purgatory. This looks like a pretty ugly, simplistic bullet hell shooter game. I would almost say that they're doing something different with an artistic style for bullet hell games, since so many bullet hell games are on a sky background and usually a lot of times have anime inspired visuals for kind of no reason, just because they're mostly from Japan. So they are doing something different here, but they're also doing something very lazy with the black background and just pixelated things, pixelated enemies and such. This is early access and $1.99, and yeah, nothing very interesting there. GameIndustry.biz has an article. NVIDIA moves toward global rollout of the GeForce Now cloud platform. More than 1 million gamers are on the waiting list for the platform. The CEO stresses is, quote, not a Netflix of games. I don't know what GeForce Now is, though. At present, just after a year in beta, the service has 300,000 users that are playing regularly, and more than 1 million on the waiting list. It's an open platform that allows users to play games they own. They say developers will keep all of their economics. So it means, I guess, if you buy a game on PC and you are in the GeForce Now program, at that point you can stream, but that's kind of it. That's kind of all that means. Right, so if I do this one and adapt it, I go with Wind Fury and do 2 damage, or I can have it be 1/1 plants.
Quickly.
Just do 1/1 plants. And this. And this. Hit this. Hit this. And we'll hit that.
Job done.
And then return. So it really feels like the GeForce Now program, which I haven't even heard of, is just a backend. This is something to help people stream the games they already own, or it's kind of maybe like the Games Pass idea. I don't know if you can really do this on Xbox or not, where you can put in a, I don't think you can do this on Games Pass now, but there's talks and rumors that you might at someday be able to turn in a physical disc and get it on Xbox Game Pass as a digital format that you can play anywhere. Seems like that's what GeForce Now is. You can put a disc in your computer to prove that you own it, or put in a license key on your computer to prove that you own it. And if you prove that you own it, you then can play it via an online version. And I don't know if that's all streaming or if it's a download, then you can play it. I assume it's probably trying to be all streaming. GameIndustry.biz has another article. UK games retail prices continue to rise as the supermarket power wanes. Remarkably, the number of video game stores increased last year. So supermarkets such as Tesco and Asda accounted for less than 20% of UK physical games market last year. But the price of games are going up, probably because of Brexit. The obvious answer to any financial problems is Brexit. Like, Brexit is the answer to every question. Alright, so this is how you play this. You do this, and then you do this, and then you do that, and then you do this, and that, and that. And there we're at 14-8, so unless he figures out a way to destroy me with his 9 cards, which he probably can, I'm pumped and ready to go. 19.6% of box games sold in 2018 came via grocery stores, a drop of 1.4% compared to 2017. Online stores were the biggest player. Cheapest to play games to buy games is online, which sells games for an average of £34 and 52 pence, up 5.7%.
I have no cards left.
He's probably got Mecha Thing if he's doing this. Either he has no cards left for real, or he's just desperately trying to kill my guy. And we'll just have to see how this works. Like, I don't even want. Like, this guy is gonna fatigue unless he has Mechathune and this is his plan, but he may fatigue even at that point. Like, he needs to kill that minion, and he just did. 6 armor, 6 armor. He's down to 5 cards.
Hey, speak to me.
Okay. This will do more damage than anything else. So it's best to do this. Do that, do that, do that. And hit that. And that should be a victory.
That was wild.
And his turn. Oh, he's down to 2.
A wild miscalculation.
Like, I don't think he can play Mechathune.
Can't win them all.
It was Mechathune. He tried to do Mechathune and he screwed up. Oh, that was a wild game. I seriously have one more card to play. Alright, let's play one more game. Next we have a game on Steam called The Trials of Olympus 3 King of the World, which is a match 3 game. We've seen a lot of match 3 games. They're all from the same developed publisher, HH Games. So I imagine these were like mobile games or on some other storefront first, and they're getting ported over on a weekly basis. They all seem to be around Greek myth, which is fine. So this might be a decent series, and they're certainly not asking much at $3.99 discounted. But I'd have to have a lot of extra time, like just a ton of extra time to try and go through this entire series. HH Games, looking at their logo now, I guess maybe stands for Heaven and Hell Games. Trying to look at, see if any of their games that they've released have actually gotten any reviews, because they've kind of just taken so long. Yeah, they do have a game called Heaven and Hell that's a match 3 game. Rush, other minions, do damage, just do that, and then you turn. They also have a game called Voice from Heaven, which is a match 3 game. Yeah, they have like 30 games on Steam now, and none of them really have any reviews. And I am definitely not seeing anything that has enough players to play it. So it obviously isn't that relevant of a game series. Let's see, disco. Here we go. That's what we needed to do.
Quickly.
And then end the turn. We're just building it up. Alright. But I can't really do anything, because if I play something now, it'll be a mistake. So I'll just play that and see what that does. Alright. Play that and play that. GameIndustry.biz has an article. Team 17 reports record profits in its maiden financial year. Staff count grew 30% in 2018. Let's see. That probably is in large part due to the fact that, can I do this? Now, do I have enough? I think I do. Rush. Rush. Yeah, I've got a couple rush characters. It'll get me out of the danger zone, I think. So. No, it didn't get me out of the danger zone. Well, that sucks. So maybe this is a deck that you should play 5th or 6th turn. Beast have charge or a wolf. Like, it sounds like Team 17 may have gone public, but they also acquired a lot of companies or published a lot of games for other companies, so there's a certain level of understanding that has to be done around that also. Alright. +1/+1. And then play that. But yeah, it's nice to see Team 17 doing pretty good. I would say there's an argument to be said that Team 17 is making pretty niche products. Like, that they really aren't making the standard fare video games, and it's nice to see some success from developers that do something a little bit different. Let's keep attacking here. I think at this point it makes sense to start chipping it to health with this weapon too, because there's a decent chance I'll get another weapon. Let's see. Next we have a game on Steam called Romans from Mars, free to play, which seems to me to be some kind of tower defense game based on levels. Yeah, it's a tower defense game where they're coming towards you from the background, but it's a tower defense game nonetheless. It has in-app purchases, and it's a free-to-play game, so I wouldn't cover it anyways. So I guess we do this.
The eternal hunt has begun.
2, 5. I think we're good to hit one more time.
Job's done.
At this point, the second recording might be kind of short. We might not do all the daily quests for the European and Asian accounts because I've managed to find a way to make this take longer than it should. And in the turn. That was a mistake because it's just gonna hit this with the fireball. Or just give up right now. Next we have a game on Steam called Space Bullet, which looks like a top-down asteroids clone, maybe twin stick shooter game. It looks busy and zoomed in way too close for a top-down twin stick shooter. It looks like it really doesn't have anything in it. It's like a twin stick shooter slash asteroids clone. The two games are pretty similar. It's $1.99. It doesn't really interest me at all. Okay. Summon a beast companion. Ah, so now I even know I'm fine there. So I can do that, kill that, and just win the victory. Win the game straight out. Just do that. My timer has been hiding my chat, so I haven't been looking at it. Tammy Fox just put. I just saw their message. Says sorry I'm late. No need to apologize. People come, people go. Like I'm late and early consistently on streaming, so I have no real times, and people can always come and watch these videos later. So we got all of the daily quests done for the Americas account, and we've made a Guardian's chest up to rank 13, which is amazing, just completely amazing. We're at rank 14 right now. How many stars? Like, I actually care about how many stars I have at rank 13. Rank 14. I have 3 stars at rank 14. I'm gonna try really hard for the rest of this month, and hopefully going forward, if this good luck continues to happen, to try and just push. If I can be a rank 10 player on average, that would be great. I don't know if that really changes any chances of me playing arena, but at a certain point, if I have enough gold because I'm getting monthly quests, that I'm getting all the cards, I would have enough gold to start doing arena runs again. But that certainly isn't a focus right now. So that's going to be the end of this recording. Stay tuned if you're watching live. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.